A thunderous slap cracks through the silence. Damon Blackwood, impeccably dressed billionaire, lauded in every financial paper, staggers back, palm pressed against his burning cheek. He's in the middle of an extravagant rooftop lounge overlooking the city skyline. Chandeliers reflect on polished marble floors. No one dares breathe. His wife, Clarissa, stands opposite him, eyes blazing. She's pregnant, just a few months along, but her expression holds pure fury. Her hand trembles after delivering that stinging blow. Even the bartender at the far end of the room stops mixing cocktails, transfixed by this unexpected collision of power and vulnerability. No one moves to intervene. Damon's security detail stands frozen, uncertain whether to restrain Clarissa or pretend it never happened. Suddenly, Damon's phone rings, an oddly cheerful tone cutting through the tension. He ignores it. Right now, the only thing more shocking than that slap is the look in Clarissa's eyes. "I should have known," she hisses, voice quavering but strong. "All that talk about loyalty, all that nonsense about us against the world." Her voice catches, tears threatening to fall. "You said you'd never abandon me, especially not now." Damon's jaw tightens. He glances around, aware of half a dozen eyes pinned on them. Normally, he thrives on attention boardroom negotiations, high-stakes deals. But this is different. This is personal, humiliating, irreversible. Clarissa lifts her left hand. The giant wedding ring glitters under the pendant lights. Then she hurls a folded piece of paper at Damon's feet. It's a printed email chain, receipts, evidence, some private exchange. He doesn't even need to pick it up to know it spells disaster. He attempts to speak, but no words come. His pregnant wife stands in front of him, heartbreak etched across her features, and he's powerless. Usually, Damon's the one holding all the cards, the ultimate deal maker. Tonight, though, he's the one cornered. Clarissa's chin trembles. "If you think this is our end," she says, voice raw, "you're right, but you have no idea what's coming next." Before Damon can reply, Clarissa strides out, shoulders squared, leaving everyone too stunned to follow. The lounge door closes behind her with a heavy thud. A wave of murmurs ripples through the onlookers. Damon can practically taste the judgment in the air. He wants to chase after her, but something holds him back, maybe shock, maybe guilt. His phone keeps buzzing on the table. He doesn't answer. He takes a step toward the scattered papers, heart pounding. One security guard coughs politely. Damon waves a dismissive hand. "Leave me," he mutters. They quickly disperse. He bends down, picks up the crumpled pages, and sees exactly what he dreaded: date-stamped confirmations. Emails that detail a betrayal deeper than any financial scandal. Someone has laid out his secrets in black and white. And that slap, it was only the opening salvo in a war he never expected to fight. Screen darkens for a moment, no context given, no explanation yet. Just the ringing echo of that slap and Clarissa's parting words. The real story has only begun. The next morning, Damon's penthouse feels colder than usual. Sunlight streams through floor-to-ceiling windows, but nothing warms the tension that's settled in. He's alone. Clarissa hasn't returned. He wanted to call her, but what would he even say? He paces through the lavish living room, modern art on the walls, designer furniture arranged for maximum status appeal, yet none of it matters now. Not when his wife, pregnant with his first child, just discovered the one truth he never intended her to see. Downstairs, the doorman buzzes. Damon ignores it. His mind replays last night's scene, the shock in Clarissa's eyes, that tremor in her voice, and the echo of her hand connecting with his face. A single, raw moment overshadowing every success he's achieved. Finally, he checks his phone, 12 missed calls. Some from unknown numbers, some from business associates, none from Clarissa. He opens one voicemail from Samuel Quinn, his top advisor, who sounds agitated, whispering about urgent stockholder concerns and media sniffing around. Damon heads to the kitchen, searching for coffee, but his eyes land on the baby ultrasound photo stuck to the fridge, a magnet from their honeymoon in Santorini holding it in place. The image pierces his chest like a dagger. Only last week, he and Clarissa stood in that clinic, listening to the steady heartbeat of their unborn child. She clung to his arm, tears of joy in her eyes. He can't stand the guilt. He tears his gaze away, but the memory floods him anyway. Clarissa had confided how she feared being a mother, worried that Damon's high-profile life might overshadow their family. He'd promised her he would never neglect them. He'd told her their child would be his greatest achievement. Now, just days later, everything is unraveling. A faint knock on the door jolts him back to reality. He opens it to find a timid young woman holding a stack of documents. She's from Human Resources at Blackwood Enterprises. He recognizes her face. She stutters. "Mr. Blackwood, these just came in." She hands him an envelope. Inside, a copy of an anonymous complaint. It outlines moral misconduct by Damon, referencing personal entanglements that could jeopardize corporate ethics. His board of directors demands an immediate explanation. The HR representative steps away, apologizing for the intrusion. She looks terrified, as though Damon might explode in anger, but he just shuts the door, bracing himself against it. He flips through the complaint, seeing how meticulously this person documented every rumor, every suspicious sighting. This is a direct threat to his empire. Someone wants him cornered. Worse, it's happening at the exact time Clarissa's discovered the truth he's hidden. A side glance at the ultrasound photo on the fridge again. In that small black and white image, he sees a future that might be slipping through his fingers. Could it be that he's losing everything at once, somewhere deep inside? Anger flickers, but overshadowing that is a gnawing sense of injustice for Clarissa, for their child, for the life he's put at risk. Damon slides into the backseat of his town car, ignoring the driver's polite nod. This morning, he's due at Blackwood Enterprises for an urgent meeting. As the car pulls away from the curb, he scrolls through news alerts on his phone. A headline catches his eye. "Billionaire's marriage in crisis, unnamed sources reveal workplace affair." Damon's stomach churns. The article is mostly speculation, but the tone implies more details are coming. Whoever is behind this knows exactly how to strike. He pictures Clarissa again, remembers how she once said, "If you ever betray me, at least be honest. Don't let the world find out before I do." And yet, the world found out. She found out. Now, he's trapped in a cycle of half-truths and shame. Outside, the city streets flash by, but Damon barely notices. His mind replays a conversation from a week ago. An older board member had cautioned him about fraternizing with certain individuals. "People watch you, Damon. You're a brand, not just a man." Damon brushed it off then. But now the brand is under siege and the man behind it is unraveling. At the office, employees cast uneasy glances as he steps into the elevator. A hush falls whenever he passes. Damon can practically hear the whispers. What did he do? Will Clarissa leave him in the boardroom? A half-dozen high-level executives sit around a sleek glass table. Samuel Quinn stands near a digital screen displaying downward trending analytics. He nods once at Damon, a terse acknowledgement. No one offers small talk. Samuel clears his throat, eyes locked on Damon. "We've received multiple inquiries from major stakeholders. They're concerned about the negative press, the moral complaint, and how this might impact our upcoming merger." Damon sits, shoulders rigid. "We'll handle it," he says, voice clipped. "There's no basis for these rumors." A stern woman in a tailored suit, Nadine Suarez, head of PR, leans forward. "With due respect, Mr. Blackwood, the rumor mill is swirling with specifics, not vague gossip. Someone leaked documents implying misuse of company assets for personal discretions." Damon stiffens. He knows that's untrue, at least from a financial standpoint, but the mention of personal discretions hits too close. He tries to keep composure, but everyone reads the tension in his face. Samuel quietly slides a folder across the table. "We need damage control." Inside, Damon sees a recommended PR statement. It instructs him to appear publicly with Clarissa, reaffirming their unity, apologize for any confusion, deny wrongdoing. In short, a carefully engineered lie. Damon's fists clench under the table. He can't just roll Clarissa out as a prop, especially not after what she learned. She deserves better than a staged press conference. Yet, if he refuses, the board might view him as reckless. The entire merger worth billions could be jeopardized. People's livelihoods, employees' futures, all hinge on his compliance. A flicker of defiance crosses his mind. The injustice is suffocating. Clarissa is the one who's been wronged. But in this polished boardroom, the only concern is profit. He signs nothing, says nothing, just stares at the statement, heart pounding. Injustice is thick in the air. He thinks of Clarissa, alone, carrying their child. If she were here, she'd see how easily they dismiss her pain. And that ignites something inside him, an anger that might just explode soon. By late afternoon, Damon finds himself in a cramped corner office with dusty shelves. This used to be a spare meeting room, but Sam Quinn insisted on privacy for a sensitive discussion. Samuel closes the door gently. "Look, Damon, we go back a long way." He begins, voice lower than usual. He glances at the blinds, ensuring no one's eavesdropping. "I need to know the truth. Is there an actual affair?" Damon's jaw works. He wants to deny it outright, but his mind flashes to the text messages, the late-night meetings, the sense of thrill he never should have entertained. He runs a hand through his hair, exhaling slowly. I got too close to someone. It never should have happened." Samuel rubs his temples. "We're talking about billions on the line. Damon, a scandal could blow everything apart." Damon's eyes flicker with frustration. "I don't care about the billions right now. Clarissa, she's pregnant. She's the one who matters." Samuel's brow furrows. He's always known Damon to be a shrewd businessman first, a husband second. Today, that mask seems to be cracking. "You really love her, don't you?" Damon's voice is almost a whisper. "She's the best thing that ever happened to me. And I threw it away. For what? Some cheap thrill." He slams his fist on the desk. Pens clatter. A framed certificate tips over. "I deserve whatever fallout comes." Samuel eyes him carefully. "Listen, if you want to salvage this, we need to contain the leak. We suspect an inside source feeding tabloids. We can't confirm who yet." Damon's stomach twists. A sudden thought. Could it be the person he got too close to, or someone else entirely? Out for revenge before he can ask. There's a knock at the door. Nadine Suarez peeks in. "Damon, there's a reporter in the lobby demanding an on-camera statement. She claims she has proof that you've spent company funds on personal travel allegedly tied to your affair." Damon's eyes flare with anger. "That's impossible." But Nadine shrugs. "She has documents. Maybe forged, maybe real. We don't know. She's calling for your immediate resignation if you can't refute her evidence." The walls seem to close in. Damon stands, every muscle tense. "I'll talk to her." Samuel blocks his path. "No, that's exactly what they want. A meltdown on camera. Let us handle the press. You handle Clarissa." Damon's heart pounds. Clarissa. He hasn't spoken to her since last night. Shame washes over him. She must feel utterly betrayed. And he's holed up here fighting for corporate survival, while his marriage dangles by a thread. "You're right," he finally mutters. "I need to see her. All of this can wait." Nadine offers a sympathetic look. "The board won't be happy if you walk out now." Damon smirks bitterly. When were they ever happy about personal responsibility? "I'll be back. Just handle the noise." He grabs his phone, steps into the hallway, and makes a beeline for the elevator. Let the scandal brew. If he doesn't fix things with Clarissa soon, none of this will matter anyway. Fade to black. The sense of building injustice lingers. Clarissa's heartbreak. Damon's trapped position, corporate pressure, tabloids swirling. Something bigger is coming. Damon drives himself toward the old neighborhood on the outskirts of the city. He didn't grow up rich, despite what the tabloids say. The mansion and billion-dollar empire came later. This humble row of houses is where his story began. He parks outside a weathered, one-story home with a sagging porch roof. It belonged to his grandmother, who raised him after his parents vanished in a swirl of gambling debts. Damon's chest tightens at the memories. He rarely visits. Maybe that's part of the problem. He forgot where he came from, slipping a spare key from under a loose brick. He enters. Dust motes dance in the late afternoon light. The furniture's covered in sheets. A time capsule of simpler days. The same crooked family photo still hangs by the front door, a younger Damon, skinny and hopeful, next to his smiling grandmother. He can almost hear her voice, "Never let money blind your heart." She used to say that every time he talked about building an empire. At the time, he thought she was just being quaint. Now he wonders if she saw the dangers all along. He steps into the living room, stands by the tarnished mirror where he once rehearsed job interview speeches. Thoughts swirl Clarissa. Pregnant, feeling betrayed, the affair rumors the half-truth behind them, and this monstrous corporate meltdown waiting for him back in the city. Damon glances at a small trunk by the fireplace. Inside are dusty notebooks, his grandmother's diaries. He flips one open, yellowed pages filled with careful handwriting. One passage leaps out. "True wealth is knowing who you are when everything's taken away." His throat tightens. Has he lost sight of who he is? For years, he believed controlling everything was key: money, reputation, even personal relationships. But now he sees how fragile it all is. A noise from the doorway startles him. It's Clarissa. She's standing there, eyes red. She used the same spare key. Neither speaks for a long moment. Finally, she sets down her purse. "I remembered you once said if you ever vanished, I'd find you here," she murmurs, voice trembling. "I can't believe I'm the one who had to vanish this time." Damon swallows hard. She's wearing a loose cardigan over her small baby bump. The sight stings him with guilt. "Clarissa, I never meant for any of this to happen." She steps closer. "Is it true? The affair, the corporate funds. Did you really throw us away for her?" Damon's gaze drops. "There was someone," he admits softly, "but I swear I never used company money. I never wanted it to go this far." Clarissa's eyes fill with tears. She glances around the old house, taking in the modest surroundings. "I came here thinking you'd remember who you used to be, the man who valued loyalty and family, not the billionaire who turned into a stranger." Her words cut deep. Damon wants to gather her in his arms, but he can't presume forgiveness. Not yet. "Let me fix this," he whispers. "Let me show you I'm still that man." Clarissa's silent. Then a single tear slides down her cheek. "I'm just so tired. Damon, I can't do this alone anymore." Soft fade her voice echoes, revealing new layers of Damon's past and the emotional cost he's paying. They sit on the old couch, the musty smell of unused fabric enveloping them. Damon breaks the silence first. He confesses small pieces of the truth: how he felt trapped by success, how he craved something that wasn't all about corporate deals. That craving led him astray. Clarissa listens, arms folded protectively over her belly. She asks about the woman's name, Tatiana Delgado. Damon nods. Yes, Tatiana was a socialite with business connections. He first approached her for an investment lead. Then lines blurred. "She made me feel unstoppable," Damon admits, guilt lacing every word. "But I never wanted it to destroy us." Clarissa's voice trembles. "When you found out I was pregnant, you said it was a dream come true." She gestures around the old house. "I thought we'd build a family, pass on better memories to our child than we had. Now I'm left wondering if I'm just an inconvenience in your billionaire lifestyle." Damon shakes his head fiercely. "No, I messed up, but it wasn't because I didn't love you." He exhales a shaky breath. "I guess I loved myself too much, my own ego, my image. And I forgot. I forgot the person who mattered." Clarissa's eyes brim with fresh tears, but she quickly blinks them away. "The tabloids say you siphoned off corporate funds to buy her gifts, fund secret getaways. Is that true?" His gaze hardens. "No, that's a lie. I may have spent personal money recklessly, but I'd never risk the company. Someone's twisting the facts to bring me down." She studies him. "If that's the case, who's behind it?" Damon clenches his jaw. "Could be a rival CEO, or even one of my own executives who wants control. I've stepped on a lot of toes over the years. Clarissa lowers her eyes. And we're the collateral damage. He gently takes her hand. She doesn't pull away this time. I'm going to figure this out. For us, for our baby. For a moment, they just sit there, the old clock ticking on the mantel. Eventually, Clarissa speaks. Damon, after I left the lounge last night, I felt humiliated. But also, I felt rage. Because this scandal isn't just about you. It drags me into the mud. It puts our child under a microscope. She inhales sharply. I'm scared. Damon nods, swallowing the lump in his throat. I am too. She wipes her eyes. I'm giving you one chance. One. If I see that you're lying again, or if the secrets go deeper, I won't just walk away. I'll ruin every dream you ever built. The intensity in her voice is real. Damon almost flinches. He knows Clarissa rarely makes empty threats. He squeezes her hand, resolve forming. I deserve that, and I won't let it come to that. I promise. She stands, taking a shaky breath. Then we start digging for the truth. Together, outside, the sun sets. Shadows lengthen in the old house. A shift has happened now. Clarissa isn't just the betrayed wife. She's a woman determined to unearth secrets that someone has carefully planted to destroy them both. They decide to return to the penthouse to gather evidence, determined to separate fact from fiction. As Damon parks in the underground garage, Clarissa notices a sleek black SUV idling nearby. The tinted windows give no clue who's inside, but it makes her uneasy. Once in the elevator, she grips Damon's arm. Are we safe if there's someone out to take you down? They might not stop at just tabloids. His jaw tenses. I'll call security to do extra sweeps. When they step into the penthouse, the first thing Clarissa sees is the scattered laptop and papers Damon left behind. She picks up a manila folder labeled Delgado Ventures. Inside are proposals for a joint real estate project. Her heart lurches. Damon looks over her shoulder. I approached Tatiana for a high-end property deal. We had legitimate business, but I let it get personal, stupid, reckless. Clarissa sets the folder down, frustration evident. Why didn't you tell me about this before it escalated? He rubs his temples. I thought I could handle it alone. They move to the living room. Clarissa flips open Damon's laptop, scanning emails and files. She's not tech-savvy, but she knows enough to spot suspicious transactions. Damon points out personal expenses from his own accounts. See, I never touch corporate funds. She nods, relief mixing with tension. If that's true, why do these reports say otherwise? Damon shrugs, frustration creeping in. Someone must be fabricating documents to paint me as corrupt, possibly forging my signature or redirecting funds in my name. Clarissa's phone buzzes. It's an unknown number. She hesitates, then answers. A distorted voice on the other end. Stop digging. Mrs. Blackwood, you won't like what you find. Her blood runs cold. She places the phone on speaker. Who is this? No response, just static. Then the line goes dead. Damon curses under his breath, immediately checking the security camera feed on his phone. The black SUV is still down there. Clarissa's hand shakes. They know we're here. They're warning us off. For a brief moment, Damon wants to pack up and hide somewhere remote. But that notion dies quickly. He's never been one to cower. Instead, a steely resolve forms. Fine. If they want to fight, they'll get one. But first, we need help. Clarissa glances up. Help from who? An old friend? Someone who handles cybersecurity? She exhales a shaky breath. This is insane. I just want a normal life. Damon, a safe place to raise our child. Why does everything have to be a war? His gaze softens. I'm sorry. I dragged you into this, but I swear, I'll protect you. Clarissa sets the laptop aside, crossing her arms over her chest protectively. The baby inside her is the real victim of this twisted game. All right, she says quietly. Call your friend. Let's see if we can uncover who's behind this. Outside, The city lights shimmer, but a dark threat lingers beneath. The hidden past is surfacing, forcing them to see each other in new light. Clarissa isn't just Damon's betrayed wife. She's becoming his partner in unraveling a conspiracy that goes far deeper than a mere affair. It's nearing midnight when Damon and Clarissa arrive at a modest townhouse on the outskirts of downtown. The porch light flickers, revealing an older man with weathered features standing at the door. His name is Isaac Trent, a former intelligence officer turned private investigator. Damon greets him with a respectful nod, introducing Clarissa. They head inside. The living room is sparse, dominated by an array of monitors and laptops on a makeshift command center. Isaac waves them toward a worn-out couch. Haven't heard from you in years. Damon, must be serious. Damon explains the situation in clipped sentences, the affair rumors, the forged financial documents, the relentless press coverage. Clarissa chimes in, describing the phone call threat. Isaac listens intently, his expression grave. He taps the keyboard, pulling up search queries. Let's see if anyone's created shell companies or front accounts in your name. A few minutes later, Isaac narrows his eyes at the screen. Interesting. There's a newly formed LLC, Blackwood Legacy Partners, listing you as the primary signer. Registered offshore. Damon frowns. Never heard of it. Clarissa's eyes dart from Isaac to Damon. So someone's forging your signature to route money through that shell company? Isaac nods. Appears so. And guess which name shows up as a joint agent, Tatiana Delgado. A chill settles in the room. Damon leans forward, every muscle tense. So she's behind it, Isaac shrugs. Could be. Or she's being used as well. Let's not jump to conclusions yet. Powerful people often create layers to hide the real puppet master. Clarissa grips Damon's hand. I don't care who's behind it. We have to prove it's not you. Suddenly, Isaac's computer pings. Another lead pops up, a document linking Blackwood Enterprises to suspicious wire transfers in Asia. Damon glances at Clarissa, panic flickering in his eyes. I've never done business in Asia without board approval. This is all fabricated. Isaac exhales, rubbing his chin. Fabricated or not, if the SEC or FBI sees these, you're in deep trouble. The media backlash alone could kill your reputation. Worst case, you face criminal charges. A surge of anger rises in Damon, not just at Tatiana, but at whoever orchestrated this labyrinth. He slams his fist on the table. I won't go down for something I didn't do. Clarissa stands abruptly. Isaac, can you track the IP addresses? Find out who set this up. He nods, typing furiously. I'll do my best. It'll take time. Silence falls as the gravity of their situation sinks in. Damon looks at Clarissa, remembering the vow he made to protect her and their unborn child. Yet the more they dig, the more dangerous it feels. Finally, Isaac swivels around. You should both be cautious. If someone's bold enough to forge your signature and threaten Clarissa, they might not stop at scare tactics. Watch your backs. Clarissa places a protective hand over her stomach. I'm not running. Not until I clear Damon's name. In that moment, Damon sees a quiet strength in her he once took for granted. This is their shot at a comeback to stand together and prove the truth. But the risk is immense. One wrong step, and they both collapse. 2 days later, headlines explode. Blackwood Legacy Partners under scrutiny. Is Damon Blackwood the mastermind? The sensational coverage claims Damon funneled millions to a personal offshore account. The media storms the gates of Blackwood Enterprises. Investors panic, shares dip, and board members threaten emergency action. In the penthouse, Clarissa paces while Damon takes call after call, attempting damage control. Isaac's still digging for evidence of forgery, but nothing concrete has emerged yet. Tension weighs heavy. A beep on Damon's phone signals a text from Tatiana Delgado herself. We need to talk. I can prove your innocence. Clarissa sees the message, anger flaring. She claims she can prove your innocence. That's ironic. Damon exhales. Torn. Isaac said not to trust anything from her arm. But if she does have evidence that someone else orchestrated this, ignoring her might be a mistake. Clarissa's gaze hardens. Fine, talk to her. But I'm coming with you. They agree to meet Tatiana at a discreet spot, a small, upscale hotel lounge near the airport. Arriving there, they find Tatiana seated in a corner booth, sunglasses perched on her flawless face. She greets them coolly, sliding a folder across the table. This is a copy of the real estate contract I was working on. She begins, I never added you as a co-signer on any offshore account. Someone's forging my name too. Damon eyes the documents. They look legitimate, but skepticism lingers. Why would they target both of us? Tatiana sighs, removing her sunglasses. Her expression is unexpectedly vulnerable. I have enemies. Damon, high-level people who hate that I carve out my own success. Maybe they saw our brief involvement as a perfect weapon to ruin us both. Clarissa stands beside Damon, arms crossed. We're supposed to believe you're a victim. Tatiana meets her gaze. I made a terrible mistake getting close to your husband, but I never wanted to destroy him or your marriage. I swear it. She points to a phone on the table. I have voice memos, text messages. Somebody tried to blackmail me into testifying that Damon used corporate funds on me. When I refused, they leaked partial evidence. Curiosity wars with distrust in Clarissa's eyes. Finally, Damon speaks. Let's hear the voice memos. Tatiana taps her phone. A muffled recording plays someone with a distorted voice instructing her to sign an affidavit that Damon paid her with company resources. The voice threatens to expose her past dealings if she declines. When it ends, Tatiana's hand trembles slightly. I was no saint, but I'm not lying now. We're both targets. Damon senses the tension rolling off Clarissa. She's torn between revulsion for Tatiana and the possibility that this woman actually holds a key to clearing Damon's name. After a long pause, Clarissa finally asks, who benefits from framing both of you? Tatiana shrugs, eyes flicking around the lounge as if expecting eavesdroppers. High-level corporate sharks. Maybe. Your board is full of cutthroats. Damon thinks of the newly formed LLC, of the black SUV, of the phone threat. None of it seems random. We'll have Isaac analyze your files. He says quietly. Clarissa nods, stepping back. She can't hide her contempt for Tatiana, but for now, they have a shared enemy. Outside, paparazzi flash cameras. Damon shields Clarissa as they hurry to the car. The world sees a man, his pregnant wife, and his former mistress locked in some twisted triangle. But behind the scenes, a bigger battle looms. Can they outsmart an unseen puppeteer who's determined to tear them all down? Morning light filters into Isaac's makeshift command center. Damon, Clarissa, and Tatiana huddle around his monitors while he analyzes the voice memos and digital records. The atmosphere crackles with tension. Tatiana stands a few feet away from Clarissa, arms folded, avoiding direct eye contact. Clarissa's posture is equally guarded, though she's calmer than before. Damon notices how they both shift uncomfortably, forced into this unlikely alliance. Isaac adjusts his earpiece and squints at the screen. The voice you recorded, Tatiana, it's heavily modulated, but I found some anomalies in the background. Could be a machine whir, maybe a server room. He zooms in on the audio waveform, scanning for unique markers. Damon rubs the back of his neck, impatience rising. So we still don't know who it is. Isaac holds up a hand. Not yet. But there's a single beep sequence that might be an access card reader. If I can match that beep to a specific security system, we narrow down potential locations. Clarissa glances at Damon. A beep, that's pretty thin. Tatiana sighs. At least it's something. Isaac keeps digging. Meanwhile, Damon leans closer to Clarissa, speaking softly. After this, let's see your doctor. You haven't had a proper checkup since all this stress began. She nods reluctantly. I've felt a few dizzy spells, but I'm trying to stay strong. From across the room, Tatiana seems to notice their exchange, a hint of regret flickering across her face. She opens her mouth as if to speak an apology, but the moment passes. Isaac suddenly stiffens. I've got something. A blurred security camera feed appears. A figure, face obscured, enters a building carrying a stack of files labeled with Damon's name. The timestamp is from last week. The building ID code and address belonging to Strathmore Holdings, a major competitor of Blackwood Enterprises. Damon exhales sharply. Strathmore. They tried to buy a chunk of my company last year. I blocked them. Tatiana arches an eyebrow. They must want you gone so they can swoop in on your empire at a lower valuation. Clarissa clenches her fists. So this entire scandal could be a takeover plot. They used Tatiana's involvement to blackmail her, forge Damon's signature, tank the stock, then force a buyout. Isaac nods. Exactly, Bo. But we need more direct proof, dude. Right now, it's just circumstantial. Damon's phone vibrates a text from Sam Quinn board meeting in 1 hour. They might vote you out as Sudam. He turns to Clarissa and Tatiana. We have to present something convincing to the board. Otherwise, Strathmore or someone on my own board will push me aside. Clarissa's eyes are steady. I'm coming with you to that meeting. They need to see I stand by you. If only for the truth. Tatiana looks hesitant. Do you want me to come too? Damon shares a quick glance with Clarissa, who nods. Yes, Damon decides. We need your statement. They'll want to hear from the so-called mistress they keep waving like a red flag. An uneasy alliance indeed, but if it means uncovering the real culprit, they'll do it. Isaac prints out the files, transferring everything to a secure flash drive. He hands it to Damon. Show them this. It might not seal the deal, but it's enough to cast doubt on the accusations. Damon grips the drive. Let's go. Time to fight back. Clarissa rests a hand on her stomach, then lifts her chin. Together, they head out, ready for the biggest battle, yet one that could break them or spark their ultimate comeback. When Damon, Clarissa, and Tatiana stride into the Blackwood Enterprises boardroom, the atmosphere is electric. A dozen board members sit around an imposing U-shaped table, their faces grim. Flashbulbs pop outside the windows as paparazzi clamor for a glimpse. Samuel Quinn stands to the side, arms folded. Nadine Suarez hovers near a projector screen. At the head of the table is an empty chair reserved for Damon, the embattled CEO. He wastes no time. Plugging Isaac's flash drive into the projector, Damon begins laying out the evidence-forged signatures, offshore LLC files, the suspicious shell company with direct ties to Strathmore Holdings. Murmurs ripple through the board. A silver-haired member, Lionel Crane, sneers. So you're claiming you had no knowledge of these accounts? Damon levels his gaze. Absolutely none. Someone orchestrated this to smear me. Tatiana steps forward, voice surprisingly firm. I was named as a co-signer on those documents without my consent. I have proof that I refused to lie about Damon embezzling funds. She plays the voice memo. A hush falls. The board members exchange uncertain glances. The memo's threat is unmistakable. Clarissa stands by Damon's side, hands protectively over her belly. My husband made a personal mistake, she says, eyes glancing at Tatiana. But he did not commit corporate fraud. We intend to press charges against anyone fabricating these lies. Just as some members appear swayed, the conference room doors burst open. 2 uniformed men step in, private investigators from the board. Apparently, one holds a document. We have new evidence, he announces. He slaps down a sheaf of papers. They show a series of emails from Damon's personal account referencing offshore transfers to Delgado Ventures. Signed, Damon B., Confusion Royals. Damon snatches the papers, scanning them. This isn't possible. Those are doctored, Lionel Crane interjects, voice dripping with triumph. We verified these email headers. They trace back to your home IP address. Clarissa's face pales. Damon feels the rug yanked from under him. Suddenly, it looks like all the effort to prove his innocence is collapsing. Tatiana quickly steps to Damon's defense. He never emailed me from that address. These are fakes. A few board members whisper among themselves, clearly doubtful. From the corner, Nadine Suarez draws a slow breath. With the board's permission, we must consider a motion to remove Damon Blackwood as CEO. Our shares are tanking. We have to act. A hush falls as the motion is put forth. Damon's eyes lock onto Lionel Crane. There's a smug satisfaction there. Could Lionel be aligned with Strathmore before the board can vote? Samuel Quinn places a hand on Lionel's arm. Wait, we should let Damon respond. Damon stands tall, voice resonating in the tense room. This is a coup. You've all seen evidence that points to Strathmore's infiltration. Now these so-called emails conveniently appear. The timing is more than suspect. Lionel smirks, desperate. Damon, you'll say anything to keep your power. Clarissa's gaze darts around the table. She sees the tide turning against them. Panic flares within her. This might be the moment they lose everything. Suddenly, the boardroom phone rings. Samuel answers, eyes widening. He gestures to Damon. It's Isaac. He says he has a final piece of proof. Damon grabs the phone, putting it on speaker. Isaac's voice crackles. Urgent, I found an internal link. The real orchestrator of these forgeries is... And then a click. Silence. Isaac's line goes dead. The board members look stunned. Damon's heart pounds. Something bigger just happened. Or someone cut Isaac off before he could reveal the truth. Chaos erupts. The board clamors for clarity, half of them leaning toward immediate ouster, the other half unsettled by the abrupt call termination. Damon clenches the phone, dread blooming in his chest. If Isaac was silenced, it means they're closer to the truth than ever. Lionel Crane seizes the moment. I motion we take an immediate vote. Damon Blackwood is unfit to lead. Before he can finish, the doors swing open again. This time, it's a breathless security guard. Sir, a package just arrived. It's marked urgent evidence. Everyone halts. The guard places a sealed envelope on the table. Damon tears it open, revealing a USB drive and a single note. Play me now. In alley, Nadine loads it into the projector. A video file appears. It shows hidden camera footage in a dimly lit office. The figure at the desk is Lionel Crane, meeting with a man from Strathmore Holdings. Their conversation is muffled but clear enough. Once Blackwood is removed, we'll acquire controlling shares at half price. The Strathmore rep says, then your position will be well compensated. Lionel nods, replying smugly, Damon's downfall is guaranteed. We've planted all the evidence needed. Gasps ripple around the table. Lionel's face blanches. He sputters. This is doctored a deepfake, but the board can see how real it looks. The date stamp, the minor details. Samuel Quinn steps forward, rage evident. You were setting Damon up to fail so Strathmore could take over. Lionel tries to regain composure. You have no idea what you're talking about. Damon deserves removal for his affair alone. Tatiana bristles. We're dealing with corporate sabotage, not my personal regrets. This is bigger than you realize. Clarissa's eyes narrow at Lionel. You destroyed our family's reputation, turned Damon into a public villain just for profit. Lionel slams a fist on the table. A cornered animal. Board members, don't be fooled. Damon admitted to stepping out on his wife. He's morally compromised. Samuel crosses his arms. So you blackmail him and forge evidence. That's a crime. Another board member stands, face grim. Lionel, you lied to us, risked the company, and slandered Damon. There's no place for you here. A hushed moment passes. Then Nadine addresses the board. I propose we halt the motion to remove Damon and instead remove Lionel Crane pending legal action. The board unanimously votes. The motion passes. Security escorts Lionel out, shouting protests. Damon exchanges a glance with Clarissa, relief flooding him. But there's no time to celebrate. He still needs to confirm Isaac's safety. Just then, Damon's phone buzzes. Isaac texts, I'm safe. Lost signal. The final piece of the puzzle is on that USB. Good luck. Damon exhales, turning to the board. I'll restore our company's image. But first, I need to protect my family. Samuel nods. We'll handle the fallout here. Just be careful. Crane might not be the only traitor. Tatiana steps back, arms folded. She looks at Clarissa uncertainly. I know I've caused you pain, but if there's anything I can do to help, Clarissa regards her with a complex mix of anger and gratitude. Then she simply says, make sure the truth keeps coming. Outside the boardroom, paparazzi still swarm. But now Damon has a chance to redeem himself. He puts an arm around Clarissa, guiding her away from the chaos. Stacked twists brought them to the brink, but they found one traitor. Questions remain. Are there more players pulling strings, and can Damon truly rebuild the trust he shattered with Clarissa? Night falls over the city. Damon and Clarissa return to the penthouse, exhausted from the tumultuous board meeting. As soon as they step inside, Damon checks all the locks. Something still feels off, like a presence lurking in the shadows. Clarissa sinks onto the couch. I can't believe Lionel orchestrated everything. I mean, I always found him slimy, but sabotage on this scale, Damon paces, unable to rest. He was the face of it, but I'm not convinced he acted alone. Strathmore's involvement is bigger than one board member. Suddenly, Clarissa winces, pressing a hand to her stomach. Damon rushes over. What is it, pain? She breathes through it. Just a cramp, I think. Stress. Probably. He crouches beside her, worry etched on his face. We should see the doctor again. I don't want to risk anything. She nods slowly, but before they can move, the phone rings. The caller ID shows a blocked number. With caution, Damon answers. A gravelly voice speaks. Congratulations on your little board victory, but you still have no idea what you're up against. Stop fighting, or you'll regret it. Clarissa overhears, eyes widening. Damon stays silent, fists clenched. The voice continues. The next time you dig for evidence, think about how it might affect your pregnant wife. Then the line clicks dead. A surge of protective rage floods Damon. He slams the phone down. They threatened you. Our baby. Clarissa's face pales. We can't keep living like this. Damon tries to steady his breathing. We'll call Isaac. We'll get more security. I won't let them hurt you. Clarissa closes her eyes, tears threatening. They're playing with our lives, Damon. He pulls her into a gentle embrace. She trembles. I'm so sorry, he murmurs, voice thick. You shouldn't have to deal with my mistakes. She shakes her head. We'll face it together, but we need to be smart. One misstep, and we lose everything. They sit in heavy silence, the city lights casting flickering shadows on the penthouse walls. Finally, Mom, Clarissa looks up. Tomorrow, I'm going to the doctor. You handle crisis control at the company, but promise me, no more secrets. Damon nods. No more secrets. That night, Clarissa sleeps fitfully in the master bedroom while Damon stays awake, scanning files on his laptop. Despite Lionel's takedown, the emails keep rolling in from tabloids demanding statements. He wonders if he'll ever escape this scandal. Close to dawn, he dozes off at the desk. A nightmare grips him, images of Clarissa in danger, a crying infant he can't reach, a triumphant shadow laughing in the background. He snaps awake, drenched in sweat, heart pounding. Across the room, the ultrasound photo pinned to the bulletin board catches his eye. He walks over, gently touching the picture. I won't fail you, he whispers. Whether it's a vow to Clarissa or to the unborn child, he isn't sure. Maybe both. He stares out the window, the dark sky starting to lighten. The confrontation has peaked, but a sense of foreboding remains. Someone out there wants total destruction. Damon silently vows to face whatever final twist awaits. Morning sunlight filters into a private hospital room. Clarissa sits on the examination table, eyes closed, listening to the steady beep of a fetal heart monitor. Dr. Hansen, a soft-spoken obstetrician, adjusts the ultrasound wand over Clarissa's belly. Damon stands at her side, tension coiled in every muscle. He's relieved that the baby's heartbeat sounds strong, but Clarissa's elevated blood pressure worries him. Stress can do that, the doctor explains. She urges Clarissa to rest, reduce anxiety. Outside in the corridor, Damon pulls Dr. Hansen aside, voice hushed. Is Clarissa in danger? The doctor sighs. Prolonged stress could lead to complications. She needs a safe environment, no more swirling scandals, if possible. Damon's stomach knots. He thanks the doctor. rejoining Clarissa in the room. She's wiping gel from her stomach. Expression a mixture of relief and fatigue. He helps her stand. Let's go home. We'll figure out a way to keep you calm. Clarissa nods. That's impossible with everything going on, but we can try. On their way out, Clarissa's phone buzzes with a message from Isaac. We have a break. Meet me at the townhouse, ASAP. She glances at Damon. Think it's safe. He sets his jaw. We have no choice. If Isaac found a final piece of the puzzle, it could be our ticket to real peace. They arrive at Isaac's place an hour later. The investigator appears haggard but excited. I recovered partial data from a server linked to Strathmore. It reveals multiple attempts to bribe board members, including Crane. He hands Damon a printout. But here's the kicker. A few of your own people were also in on it. They fed Crane inside info to strengthen the smear campaign. Clarissa reads the document, shaking her head. Traitors inside the company. That's why every step we took was sabotaged. Damon's face tightens. Names Isaac points to a highlighted section. Erica Sullivan, your head of corporate strategy, is one. She was funneling info to Strathmore for months. Rage flares in Damon, but he fights to keep calm. We confront them, clear out the rot once and for all. Isaac raises a cautionary hand. This is powerful evidence, but you need to finalize it legally. Pressing charges might escalate threats. However, once it's public, they'll have less leverage. Clarissa takes a breath. I just want it over. Isaac. He gives her a sympathetic nod. Then brace yourself. When you expose them, they'll fight back hard, but you'll have the law on your side. Damon turns to Clarissa, gently touching her arm. This means we have a real chance at closure. At peace, she meets his gaze. And after that, what about us? His voice softens. I'm not naive. I know I hurt you, but if you'll let me, I want to spend every day proving I can be the husband you deserve. A shaky smile crosses her face. We'll see. First, let's end this nightmare. Isaac hands them a folder of compiled evidence. I'll stand by you, but be careful. Strathmore's desperation could hit a breaking point. Outside, Damon and Clarissa exchange a glance. Their hearts pound with a mix of hope and fear. The end game looms. Soon they'll confront the final obstacle. They can almost taste freedom. But as they drive away, there's a lingering feeling that fate might not grant them a clean exit. The next day, Damon convenes a press conference in Blackwood Enterprises' main lobby. Camera crews pack the space. Clarissa stands at his side, hands resting over her baby bump. Despite the tension, she exudes a quiet strength, flanked by Samuel Quinn, Nadine Suarez, and a security detail. Damon steps to the podium. He addresses the swirling allegations. I regret the personal mistakes I've made, and I apologize to my wife. But the claims of corporate fraud were orchestrated by individuals seeking to destabilize our company for profit. He holds up the file Isaac compiled. Here is evidence linking high-ranking members of Strathmore Holdings to internal saboteurs. They manufactured false documents, manipulated data, and spread lies to destroy our name. A murmur sweeps through the assembled reporters. Damon gestures for Nadine to distribute printed summaries. I am filing legal actions against these culprits immediately. Clarissa steps up, her voice clear despite trembling hands. My husband's imperfections don't excuse the crimes committed against us. We stand together to protect our family and the thousands of employees who depend on Blackwood Enterprises. Cameras flash, questions are hurled, but Damon and Clarissa stick to their statement, refusing to name every suspect publicly until law enforcement finalizes the case. A certain calm confidence surrounds them. Just as the conference wraps, a journalist shouts, Mr. Blackwood, what about Tatiana Delgado? Is she still involved in your personal life? Damon's jaw tightens. He glances at Clarissa, who nods. Miss Delgado was a pawn used to attack me. She has come forward with her own evidence, clearing my name of financial wrongdoing. The cameras pivot to the side, revealing Tatiana standing quietly, arms folded. She meets the stares but says nothing. simply giving a curt nod. Clarissa can't hide her resentment, but there's also a resigned acceptance. A wave of noise hits as Damon and Clarissa exit. They hurry to a private elevator, tension slipping into relief. Once inside, Damon exhales, pressing the button for the top floor. We did it. The press has the story. Now the legal machine will do the rest. Clarissa rests her head on Damon's shoulder. I just want our baby to grow up without threats. He kisses her temples softly. That's my promise to you. Back in the penthouse, they find a thick envelope pushed under the door. Damon picks it up, exchanging a worried look with Clarissa. Slowly, he opens it. Inside is a single photograph and ultrasound image. Not Clarissa's. The mother's name on the image, Tatiana Delgado. Clarissa's eyes go wide. Damon stares in disbelief at the text scrawled beneath, 8 weeks along. Congratulations. Dad, he nearly drops the photo. Clarissa's face drains of color. A shaky moment passes, each of them grappling with the shocking implication. The envelope also contains a handwritten note. Don't think this is over. The real storm begins now. Silence falls like a hammer. Clarissa's tears gather, anger and heartbreak colliding. Damon feels the world tilt under his feet again. Everything they fought to clear, every step toward closure shattered in an instant. Outside, the city lights twinkle as though mocking them. The final twist lands with devastating force, revealing that peace was only temporary. Another betrayal, another life in the balance, Clarissa whispers, voice trembling. Tell me this isn't true. Damon can't speak. They stand there, frozen, the echo of that new ultrasound in their ears. One story ends, and another far darker threatens to begin.